Good morning, ladies and gentlemen in Grand Colony in Nigeria. Your own elder statesperson, Reverend Dr. Bartholomew Agbochenu, is yet on your way this day, the Sunday morning, the 24th of September 2023. Yesterday, remember, after a very long while, I came up to break the long time silence by hitting the airspace as touching where we are in Theo Global Foundation disbursement of the grant that Apostle Professor Theophilus Oloche Ebonyi promised his subscribers. And actually, the release of the voice note was civil enough, and I encourage and expected every connected party to behave honestly and dutifully. But to my utmost surprise, Apostle Professor Theophilus Oloche Ebonyi visited his Facebook page and released some statements, which reads, as I paraphrase, when a man is frustrated, he talks anyhow and to anybody, withhold words from them, and they become powerless. These were the words spoken by Apostle Professor Theophilus Oloche Ebonyi. And I come out in response to this word release. Number one, the first phase of the statement. When a man is frustrated, and Apostle Professor Theophilus Oloche Ebonyi was talking in terms of Theobat Global Foundation, and is talking about when a man is frustrated. Who is he referring to? Who is he referring to as being frustrated? Let me ask everybody that is under the sound of my voice. As far as Theobat Global Foundation is concerned, if you are not frustrated, lift up your hands and let me see. If you are not frustrated from the promise of disbursement right from March 2020 up till now, if you are not frustrated, put up your hands and let me see. And if Apostle Professor Theophilus Oloche Ebonyi does not see himself being frustrated in this project, then something must be wrong with his medulla oblongata. Yes, of course. This is Reverend Dr. Bartholomew Agbochenu talking. If Apostle Professor Theophilus Oloche Ebonyi is not frustrated as far as Theobat Global Foundation is concerned at this point, then he is living a realm that is outside humanity. If at this point, people who have dished money into this foundation in billions since 2020, that you have not been able to put smiles on their faces and you are not frustrated, then you don't have human sympathy. I am frustrated. Everybody is frustrated. If you are not frustrated at what is happening in Tioba right now, then you are not a human being. That is the truth that must be told. Theo is not sympathetic. Theo does not feel the pains of the masses. And he's saying, if a man is frustrated, me, I am frustrated. As far as Theobald Global Foundation is concerned, upon the numerous promises that none have been able to see the light of day. If Apostle Professor Theophilus Oloche Ebonyi is not frustrated, then he is not a human being. Every human being is supposed to be frustrated. Right from March 2020, that people kept looking forward for disbursement. And at this point, we have not met disbursement. And you say you are not frustrated, then you are not a human being. How many times Apostle Professor Theophilus Oloche Ebonyi have you come up to say that you have this money in a container? You are looking for a malam to go and move that money from there to where you would want it to be. This thing is on the social media. It's not hidden to anybody. And you were trying to look for a malam to take that money from one point to another. Have you been able to see the malam? Apostle Professor Theophilus Oloche Ebonyi, or you have not been able to see that malam. And if you have not been able to see that malam up till now, running to 1 year now, are you not frustrated? And if you don't look at yourself to be frustrated, then it has left much to be desired. You are holding people's money, including my own money. It should touch your heart. If it doesn't touch your heart, then it shows me, and it shows every right thinking individual, that you are not operating within the human realm. Then you are not operating within the human realm. If you are not frustrated, then Apostle Professor Theophilus Oloche Ebonyi, that means you like what is going on in Theobald Global Foundation. The today, the tomorrow, the next week, the moving with the speed of a bullet, the moving the 220% ready to operate, and you are still where you are. Till Christmas have passed, Salas have passed, and you are where you are, and you are not frustrated, then it has left much to be desired. Then it shows that you are not a truthful person. That is for being frustrated. Number two, you say the person talks anyhow. Yes, you would look at me as talking anyhow when you have problem with your word diagnosis, with reasoning. When you cannot diagnose words properly. The VN I released were perfect enough. I was so civil. I was so civil. Look, Apostle Professor Theophilus Oloche Ebonyi, you have to be very careful. You cannot be greater than those who make you kings, because they can dethrone you. They can dethrone you. I don't talk anyhow. I'm a matured speaker. being a motivational speaker. I am matured whenever I come on board to speak. Point number 3, you say, withdraw words from them and they become powerless. Apostle Professor Theophilus Agbochenu, you are saying withdraw words from them and they become powerless. Let me ask you this question. What word do you have to withdraw from me? The word of pain next week, and the next week will not materialize. The word of pain next month, and the next month will not materialize. The word of pain this year, and this year will not materialize. What word do you have to hide from me? All those words, I have already said, I am tired of them. You are not a truthful person. You lie a lot. How many times have you lied? Anybody that is in the grand colony that doesn't know you as a liar, then something must be wrong with the brain of that person. Is it not the day before yesterday or about 4 days back? You told Master White something. You came up and lied that you have never spoken with Master White. And Master White went and brought out the conversation between you and him. We cannot be bewitched. Apostle Professor Theophilus Agbochenu, how many times have I sat one-on-one with you and you told me something? I came to the airspace, I spoke it, and you will come out and deny that you didn't say it. Apostle Professor Theophilus Agbochenu. Apostle Professor Theophilus Agbochenu, let me remind you, the time you went to Berekete, you denied that you didn't ask anybody to pay 250,000 naira legalization fee. Apostle Professor Theophilus Agbochenu, can you count how many people that paid that money to you? You denied. You told lie at Berekete family. These are just few out of the numerous lies you tell. And you are still preaching in your church, prophesying. You are still preaching in your church, prophesying. Is that word that you will hide from me? That you would hide from me and I will be bothered? And you say, withdraw words from them and they are powerless. Apostle Professor Theophilus Agbochenu, what brought you to the limelight? Is it not Theobald? It was Theobald. If it's not Theobald, I and you, Reverend Dr. Bartholomew Agbochenu, if we meet in classroom and I take first position and you take 15th position, you will be lucky. You yourself, you know that my brain configuration and yours are not the same. What power are you talking about? And this power that you claim to have, I have a stake in that power. It's my money that you used to get this power. And the money of several other people in the grand colony. And I stand here to tell you, you will not go scot-free. Since you have decided to be adamant, just like in my language they said, Ebia lejiji ingogbu fogen. Ebia lejiji ingogbu fogen. That is when a dog has wandered far away from its master. When the master blows whistle, the dog will no longer be able to hear. Apostle Professor Theophilus Oloche Ebonyi, you are on your pathway to destruction. It is not yet too late. This one I have said, the one I said earlier, I said it in parable. But actually, the way your brain is when somebody speaks in parable, many often times than none, you may not be able to interpret it. And that is why I am speaking in plain speech to you at this particular hour. You are holding my money, and you are holding my money, and you are calling me powerless. You are calling me powerless. Look, I am going to give you an ultimatum. This is Reverend Dr. Bartholomew Agbochenu for you. I am going to give you an ultimatum. Between today being Sunday and Wednesday, come up and address all your subscribers that you have garnered all their monies. If you don't, on Thursday, I'll hit the airspace and open can of worms. An open can of worms. Yes, and for your information, that connection you claim you have, you are not the only one who can have connection. They didn't born you with connection. It was as the, even if you have the connection at all that you claim you have, the grant you claim that you have, it's not only you that can have access to the grant. Some other person can still have access to the grant. Yes. Between now and Wednesday, I give you time to come up and address your subscribers that you are with their money. You claim to be doing a flag off of your disbursement when the EFCC, the operatives of the EFCC came upon you. If you were doing the flag off, what does it mean? You were at the verge of disbursement. Now you were released from detention on the 12th of July. More than 2 months, we have not had anything. Was that flag off you wanted to do or what? Or the EFCC came and took that container of money you were talking about? They took it away and it's no longer there. Apostle Professor Theophilus Oloche Ebonyi, I give you between now and Wednesday, come out and address your subscribers. A lot are dying. A lot are going through pains. And you don't have the heart to be able to sympathize with the situations of the people. When anybody comes out to talk, you open your mouth and begin to raise a quarrel against that person. And begin to quarrel. Look, let me tell you, you must pay our monies that you have collected. You must pay them. So many people came into knowing you through my motivational speaking. The same motivational speaking is still in my mouth. I will use it and garner people against you. Yes. Don't plan to assassinate me. Because if you do that, it will be worse for you. It will be worse for you. Don't plan to kidnap me. Don't plan to assassinate me because so many people are behind me. You are with the monies of people and you are opening your mouth anyhow. You are opening your mouth anyhow. I give you between now and Wednesday to come up to the airspace and tell your subscribers the situation of things. If you don't, on Thursday, I'll hit the airspace. Then you will know where you are. Good morning, everybody.